This segment is brought to you by St. Francis-Emory Healthcare.
St. Francis-Emory Healthcare is a nice facility, too, when you're saving lives, and especially when it comes to Dr. Jacob Davtyan. He does a great job because he's not only doing a great job in saving lives, but he is the chief of thoracic surgery, and it's so good to have him here with me.
Thank you
Just
for
getting
having
out
me.
of surgery. I know you're so down to earth. We got to work on the heart ball several years ago. You got the Doctor Prestige of the Year for the American Heart Association.
Thank you.
And you say, Bob, call me Dr. D. That's pretty down to earth, if you ask me. I like that. But Dr. Davtyan is here with us. And there's nothing better to know when you're doing your job to feel people come back to you to say, thank you. And you're inspired by this. And you have since you've been a child to know that you'd want to do this. You're born with this. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, well, I wanted to be a heart surgeon since I was 11 years old. And so I came to the United States in 1980 and then did my training here. And so I'm a heart surgeon and I'm living my dream every day.
Is it a dream, too, to know that when you're doing this, when you get a Christmas card or any kind of card during a special time during the year, just kind of reiterates, like, none of this is ever futile. I mean, you're out there doing that. What does that do for you? What does that do for a doc? Because a lot of people think, doctors are just, you have no emotion. But you do. I mean, this is something that really touches your heart, so to speak.
And that's the best part of my job, to see the patients who were incredibly sick and to recover, to go back to normal life, and to go back to their families. And yes, I'm very excited when I get Christmas cards from my patients. Tells me they're doing well, and it's really the best part of my job to know that these people are conducting productive lives.
You change lives, that's for sure. And I just can't imagine you hold in your hands, the life of somebody. You got the heart in your hands, so to speak, and how gratifying that's got to be, and especially coming from you. Recently, we just had a moment at the Columbus Rotary, and Rotarians had you come in, and you sat down, and you got to have a moment with one of your patients who actually did a little acoustic playing for you. How did that touch you?
Well, it was an incredible moment to see the patient that was very, very sick and basically on the brink of dying, and he survived, and he is now living normal life. He is a musician. He is still creating music, and he's still playing his guitar, and he's very, very happy. So
that's Joe McClure, and that's him indeed. And we're going to listen to him in just a moment, and then we'll let you folks at home really capture that moment, the essence of that, of what makes your job everything that you do. Is there any time you ever go in there? How do you know when you go in there? I just can't imagine having that pressure. You have to save this life.
Well, yeah, there is a lot of pressure, but you have to remember that before we even are allowed to be on our own, there is 9 years of training after medical school. So there's 9 years of training before you are able to go on your own and do open heart surgery. I did 6 years of general surgery training, then I did 3 years of cardiac surgery training at Emory, and that prepares you for this very difficult operations.
I'm going to prepare you right now with a little Joe McClure. Listen to Joe McClure, because he's got something here that's just going to really dazzle you in just a bit. But we appreciate it. I mean, you're an Emory guy all the way.
Yes, I am.
Dr. Davtyan, certainly the one who really keeps it ticking, keeps it pumping. And,
Thank you very much.
We appreciate all that you do. Take a listen.
Hey, I'm just a guy who died. Yeah, I've seen the other side. Hey, but I got a heart that won't beat tonight. Lord, I'm just a guy who's alive. And he said, what was it like when you left? Did you walk into the light? Did you float among the clouds? Did you spread your wings and fly? Were Jesus' arms wide open? Could you hear your sweet wife cry?
Touching. Touching. That's called code blue. Literally, his life was hanging in the balance. on the table and you see this, how did that make you feel?
It's indeed, it's very touching, and I should tell our viewers that every patient is taken care of as if he was our family member. And to see the patient who was indeed on brink of dying to come back and lead normal life and be with his family is very heartwarming, and makes me a happy person and makes me smile all day long.
I like it. And you do smile a lot. I like that. You were put here. I completely believe that despite anybody's faith, you were meant to do this. You know that.
Thank
I really
you.
believe in my heart you have.
I believe I found my calling, and I'm a happy man. There are not many people who can say that they're living their dream, and I do live my dream.
And my dream wanted to be a hockey player in upstate New York, but that didn't happen, as you can see. But I got to tell you, Chief of Thoracic Surgery, Dr. Davtyan, Dr. Jacob Davtyan with St. Francis-Emory Healthcare, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is a great edition of Chattahoochee Connections.
Thank you.
This segment is brought to you by St. Francis-Emory Healthcare. You're watching Chattahoochee Connections with Bob Jeswald, powered by Kia Autosport.